Hello people, it's me Sir, and welcome to a very unusual video on my channel, a commentated video. Specifically, this is a commentary for Super Mario 74 Extreme Edition Course 15 Reds plus 100, which is Bloody Scream of Rage, the famous one. And right out of the bat, we started with like the hardest part of the stage, which is the intro. The intro of this level is very hard, mostly because it's very awkward. The jumps are not easy. Because you have to add a front-facing cam and they're wall kicks, so you can really the depth perception needs to be pretty good. Your depth perception needs to be pretty good. Also, as you can see, for the route, I opted to do the 2 coins there first because they require you to kind of, just fall back down and redo the jumps, which is very annoying. There I bonked because I hit the wall too low, so I didn't miss it, but I also didn't hit it. It's a very weird thing that's called a depth pixel, which is, a very funny name to describe the fact that you don't hit the wall. Like it's almost like you didn't hit the wall because you cannot get a wall kick off of it. That coin is not super scary, but I opt to get it first because I find it more comfortable. Then there's this part right here. I killed the Chucky immediately. I also killed it because I need the coins, even though half of them get stuck up there, which is very stupid. And you cannot get those because they're bugged. But also because it makes this jump easier. I opted to do this jump with that weird grinding maneuver on the slope because it's easier than getting an angle, because this game, like this level in general, doesn't have a good camera even with parallel cam, so you can really get super good angles most of the time, which is annoying. Here we get the first recline, which is you jump there and I usually align with the top platform because the bottom and the top are aligned with each other vertically, and then you get the coin in this like floating weird tower thing, whatever. This jump is not as scary as it looks. I only died to this once in attempts. It's not super hard. This jump is very hard though, as you can see here. I fucked it up. I thought I was gonna die because normally if you mess this up, it's basically impossible to recover it, but weirdly enough I managed to do it, which is also extremely funny because this is the attempt that got the star. So yeah, then you have to redo this jump. Thankfully I did it first try. I don't kill the eyeball there because it's unnecessary and just wastes time in general. Most of the coins I don't get it because it wastes time, and also because there's so many coins in this stage. This changes so many coins. The 100 is hardly a challenge. I just did it with reds because I feel like it. Normally I usually got this coin later, but I decided to get it first here because I was running low on health. But normally I would get it after all of the reclimbs are done, because it just you would rather do the reclimb because the intro is so annoying and awkward. Climb back up again on that jump right there. I didn't talk about it, so I'm gonna talk about it now. Right here, my advice is take all the time you need because this jump is not simple. You need to get a very specific angle, and also if you get burned by the fire, you don't immediately die, but it's a very scary situation to be in. Then we are approaching the second reclimb. Here I do a very funny silly mistake. Because I jumped way too far on the slope, and slopes that have a wall behind them tend to be very unstable and you can very easily clip through them most of the time, which is not ideal, although that didn't really matter in this case because I was ready. I expected it. Those 3 coins aren't mandatory, but they align me with the platform, and also funnily enough this time I got all 3 of them. That is a very lucky coin RNG because most of the time you're never gonna get them. This part right here, because I'm playing with parallel cam, because I don't hate myself and I don't wish to harm myself in any way. I do this part later, but if you're playing with the original version of the game, which does not have parallel cam, I would suggest you do this part first because the camera in this wall kick section is awful. And it's not, and this section is also not easy with parallel cam. The best way is, you can see right there, is like hit the wall on the way, it makes you like slide down, so even if you miss the first like alcove there, there's the one below it, or even the one below that one as well. That's the best part. That's the easiest way to make it consistent. Here I fucked up because I forgot I had to go there to get the coins. There are more coins. This is just like a lot of coins. I think like more than 150. So coins aren't really a problem, especially if you're doing reds, because 40 of them just come from the red coins. But I, decided to do this part of the stage because hardly anyone does it, and it's red. So at this point I'm just rather show the whole stage. It's a very stupid way for me to show the entire stage off. Then we get the last reclimb or spawn, like the last time you have to do spawn. But before that, there's this coin, which is very simple. Get this coin, and then you do the same jumps. I died a lot of times here because with nerds, this part is not easy. So yeah. By the way, for attempts that made it past this jump specifically, actually the one after this one, so getting at the top of the final reclimb, I only had 4 of them to make it there, and 3 of them died to very stupid stuff, and 1 of them died to just bullshit. But I'll explain it. I'll explain it later when I get more time, because I lose time on a jump. But yeah. It didn't take me that long. It only took me like 4 hours, which is not the most time I spent on a star so far, at least. And it wasn't a terrible grind, even though sometimes I got sessions of attempts where I could not get past this part. Like, I physically could not get past like the second reclimb, which was very annoying. That is the last time you have to do that jump, and now there's this jump right here. Because there's so many invisible walls there, I opted to just do a backflip into kicking up the slope, because it's the easiest way to avoid all of the invisibles, and also that's the reason why I jumped down there instead of the other side, because there's way too many invisible walls, and if you hit one of them you can fall all the way to the bottom. Then from here the route is basically the same as like star 5, but with the other reds that you have to get. Right here I do a very stupid mistake, because I kept holding the analog stick after getting the ledge grab, which caused me to almost die, which wasn't really cool. If I died there I would have been very upset, because that's a stupid way to die. I didn't even die to a hard time, I just died to that. Right here there's a very funny thing. So there's a coin down here, right there, and I think that it's intended to be another reclimb, but you can skip it by getting a very precise triple jump walk kick, which I'm gonna show you right here. I'm gonna get this one. You can do this and skip the reclimb, which is very good. Then there's this part that is very finicky and precise, so I lose a lot of time in here. So I'm just gonna talk about how the grind went. This grind was very funny. My second ever attempt after starting attempts got to a 19 out of 20, and that was my PB for the entirety of this grind, up until this attempt where I got the star, which is very funny. So yeah, I almost fluked a star of this range, which is very humorous, and I might say. This part right here is very simple, just slope jumps. Try to be cautious about the fact that if you jump off a slope, you have 5 frames where you cannot jump, which is the 5-frame rule, which is very annoying, but if you keep that in mind, it's fine. So yeah, very funny. I almost got it like a second attempt, but most of my attempts died to the structure at the top where you get star 5, which we'll see that in a bit. Before that, there's this like, I wouldn't call them filler jumps, but most of these are not super hard, with one exception that is coming up pretty soon. On this pillar, as long as you stay there, the fire never touches you, so it's not a huge problem. Also, this like thing is full of invisible walls, so if you wanna jump to the tower there, you have to kind of maneuver around the invisible walls, otherwise you're just gonna bonk, you're not gonna die, but you're not gonna make it. This is the jump I was referring to. This jump is very hard, even with parallel cam. Without parallel cam, it's even harder, but with parallel cam, it's still very precise. It took me a lot of time to just do the jump in particular to get it consistent. Here I opted to do a QSLG instead of, block kick, ledge grab, because it was way more consistent. I never died to winning attempts, only once in practice because I fucked up the timing because it was stupid. But other than that, I never died to it. Then you fall back here. This jump is also a very awkward jump because the camera sucks, and if you go into Mario Cam, it just kinda gets stuck. So it's fundamentally useless. You do this, and then you just gonna move your way up the slope. And then there's another one which is similar to a jump that is in Veneno Reds, only this one is ironically enough, this one is easier. It's easier because you don't have to like do a full like way long double jump to the other spire thing there, like the triangle pyramid thing, whatever the fuck it's called. You just have to do that, and it's scarier than it looks, like way scarier. Right here is the final part of the start. I get hit by the amp on purpose because I don't want it to interfere with the long jump, with just the double jump, sorry. And this part is pretty similar to Star 5, except you don't have to do the secret, thankfully, because most of them are in very annoying places. They take a lot of time. This part with nerves is pretty hard. It is even harder without parallel cam, because in this part the camera gets all fucked up because it's Mario cam. As I said though, I didn't want to do it with Mario Cam because I don't hate myself, and parallel cam doesn't make this super like incredibly much easier than you think it is, because the stage is still not properly aligned with the camera. Like it only has a cardinal directions no more. The jump after this wall kick, section up this first wall is where 3 of the 4 attempts that made it here died. This jump is very annoying. The normal way you're supposed to get is by getting a first hit there, but if you do a very precise chain long jump like this, you can just barely make it. I say barely because one of my attempts that got here died because on that jump I got, death pixel on the bottom, which was not cool at all. I actually didn't like that. I fucking hated it. But whatever, I got the star now, so it's fine. Here I get the 100 coin star. There's a lot of coins, as I told you in this stage. Like I could get like 110 here for like here. Then we have the probably best red coin in the stage. I love that red coin. He's such a funny placement. Because he's at the top of the fucking stage for no reason. It's a very funny way to make fun of the player. The reason why I am like looking so concerned about this jump is because my PB died to this jump. Because when I long jump here, I held way too much forward, and then I fell down. And while reclimbing, I died, which that was awesome. But yeah, this final set of jumps is very easy. Just get the coin there. And this like platform is conveniently lined up with the middle of the stage, so if you fall down here, you're just in the middle of the stage again. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is my commentary on the star. Hope you enjoyed it. It took me quite a bit to do it, and I would love to comment more stars in the future if they're hard enough. Enjoy my reaction even though my mic is very quiet. See ya.
Fuck yeah! Here we go! Oh my god. Jesus Christ, that was so fucking... I thought I was gonna fucking die to the jump I did, like, my latest fucking PB. Alright. GG. Fucking brutal stage. The intro fucking kills you. I hated it so much, oh my god.